Hi, this is Sally with SallyCares, and we have a really interesting little visit we're going to do, and we're just going to do a short amount of time on this, but I just sprang this on my two friends, and they're looking at me like they want to kill me. But this is with Bethany Walden, who's a wonderful, one of my favorite audiologists, and Patty Zess is her name, but she goes by Beth. So we have two Beths, which may get a little confusing. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you might hear Beth this, Beth that, and you're going to think, well, who is that? But anyway, this is an interesting case where my client, Beth, with the pink shirt on, we'll go like that, actually had a hearing impairment as a child, I believe. She was the caregiver to her husband, who has passed away. And the interesting part about that was when I first met her with her husband was actually my client at the time, and then she decided she wanted to keep up with me, so here we are. But her husband would have these caregivers there, and it seemed like every time she and I would have a conversation, I would ask her if she heard what was said, because I did, and maybe she should be more upset with what she should have heard. And she just kind of looks at me with a cute smile and says, well, not really. And I said, well, why are you missing so much hearing? And she said, well, I don't know. I've had hearing aids before. I don't wear them because they never fit right, and I really hated them. And then she got into this thing about how one of her ears was worse than the other, but it was so uncomfortable she just wouldn't wear. So I bring her to my friend Bethany Walden, who, like I said, is wonderful. And yes, we find out that Beth, the pink shirt Beth, my client, is deaf in her one ear, literally her right ear. And then she says, well, it's because I got hit on the side of the head.
I walked into a baseball bat.
She walked into a baseball bat. I don't know if that's exactly how it went.
Was swinging.
Yeah, when her brother was swinging. Anyway, we're here in Bethany's office, and she's being fit for a new hearing aid, and a new device is going to be discussed that is going to help, I believe, direct sound closer to her, because her challenge socially, because she's very social, is that she still has difficulty hearing people in a group. So there's a new device out that Bethany explained to her, and we're going to go over that briefly.
I connected, this is the new hearing aid.
Wow.
It has the same size, tip, and fitting that your old one has, but the sound is quite different. They're always making improvements, so I think you're already noticing.
I can really hear.
Yes. Now, we're going to talk about Roger in a couple of minutes. We played with Roger a little bit the last time you were here, and this is the device that will actually enhance your performance in more challenging environments, in background noise, to pull in what you want to hear and not emphasize as much what you don't want to hear, or let it interfere as much. So we're going to connect that in just a minute or two after we get your new hearing aid set up. Your charger is smaller, I believe, than your old one, right?
It sure is.
Yeah, the concept is the same. I laid your old hearing aid in here just for safe travel home. There's 2 slots, but you only have 1 hearing aid, so that will be your left slot.
There's no sense in keeping that unless
just hang on to it for a backup. It's always good to have something in case something happens, a mishap. The light here, the green light, indicates that this has backup charging in it. I think I mentioned that to you. So if you lose power, you have 2 more charge cycles available to you. Okay?
Now, is there a problem if I keep this plugged in all the time?
No, because that keeps the case charged.
Okay.
So that if you do need to fall back on it, you have the ability to do that. Just like your old one, we can use a standard plug, or we can use a USB connection for power.
Okay.
So whatever's best for you in that regard, okay?
Okay.
So we've set up the hearing aid. So far, you're still connected. And once we disconnect the hearing aid, we're going to connect Roger and
I like
do some fun things with him.
Roger.
Yes, Roger that. I think that's where they came up with the name.
I was going to ask you that. Where did Roger come from?
Well, you know, it's
the guy who invented it. His name was Roger.
And Roger's gone through a transition of cycles through the years. They've changed it over and over to improve it, to allow it to do more, to make hearing aids, as they've changed, they're more compatible with it. We used to have to connect something onto the hearing aid, boot it on to make it compatible. Now Roger goes directly to the hearing aid. So that's just
Makes it easier.
yes, and it's the improvement and the advancement of wireless technology and being able
AI.
to, yes. So this feels okay, right?
Yes.
All right.
Wonderful.
And just want to see, okay, there's a little bit of feedback, but I
Here,
think we're going to go.
Beth, turn around and let me just see the hearing aid. Can you? Let me see.
They're quite discreet. They really look great these
Yeah.
days.
So let's turn your head. Yeah. Well, you've got all this. Okay, just because, yeah, that's very discreet, especially when you have it matching so well
Mm-hmm.
with the hair. Okay.
Yeah. Good
So
on
we're
good.
going to exit out of here.
It was this Roger device. So, Beth, are you saying that this technology has been around?
It has, but it's been an evolution because
But as a stick format?
yes, for a few years, they also have what is called they've had a table mic or a conference mic.
Uh-huh.
A lot of these devices, but they're not widely known about,
Uh-huh.
and therefore they're not widely used. What I find is people such as you, Beth, that have some challenges related to only have hearing in one ear and having that ear be hearing impaired, it creates a difficulty. When you're in a noisy environment, you don't have two things feeding the brain. Everything is one-sided, and it makes it much harder. This is to make it easier. It is to say, again, we can wear Roger as a presenter microphone. Sally, we were talking about that, where if you guys are riding in the car, if you're with someone who is you're in the back seat and someone in the front has this on, it's going to help some of those scenarios that are difficult. And it doesn't matter what side of the car you sit in then or anything like that. So it has, from a single perspective of listening to a lecture or one person, it also has a pointing mode. When it's at a diagonal, it's going to be a very direct pickup of one thing again, and you can direct that and change it. And then we also have we call table mode, which means now it has multiple microphones. So if you're with 3-4 people, maybe 5, it's going to listen, and depending on where speech is coming from, it's going to direct that microphone to pick that up and send it directly.
So I don't have to aim that towards someone
No.
every time.
And when this is in automatic mode, when it's flat, it automatically goes to table mode and activates all those microphones. When it's at a diagonal, it automatically goes to pointing mode for you. And when it's vertical, it is in presenter mode. So it's kind of intuitive and knows based on how you position it. You can also lock it into any of those programs. If you didn't want it to change when it was moved, you can lock it into table mode, presenter mode, or pointing mode. So I like leaving it in an automatic, and that way,
I like that too.
yes, when you switch it on, it's just going to accommodate whatever you need it to do. Yes. Okay. So it's a nifty little device. You can also connect it to your television. This can connect to the TV. I think you have the TV
I do.
thing. So this is very much does the same thing in addition to all the other stuff.
And that is a charger.
Yes, so once Roger's in the charger, and this has got power and connected to the television, it will act just like the TV device that you
Now,
have.
are these the little microphones?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But when it's in the charger, it's sending the signal from Roger to the hearing aids, just like your TV accessory that you have now.
Okay.
So you can still use that TV accessory if you want to put it on a different television, or you can, just use
So
this
it'll
one.
adapt to this hearing aid, the other one.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, I'll have to show you how to do that, but it's a very simple process. Sally can probably help you.
So
with it.
she can use with her other hearing aid, this Roger thing?
Yes, she could.
But what would be the benefit of that?
Well, if you are using
Why would she use the other hearing aid that she has in place of the new one that she
I
just got?
wouldn't. I would keep that as a backup.
Okay,
And
so
I'm
use
not gonna
that
do that.
for if there was a mishap or something happened with the new hearing aid. But it could certainly, Roger can feed, if I have 5 patients, all in Phonak hearing aids, I can actually hook them all to the same Roger device. So if you went to a class and the individuals in there had these hearing aids, the lecturer or the presenter could put this on and it would go to all of them.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's one of the newer advancements. It used to be very specific to one set of hearing aids. Now they call this Roger Unlimited because you can actually have multiple people feeding off the same device.
So is this made by Phonak?
It is.
It is. Okay.
And it's adaptable to other brands. It always has been, but it has to be, the hearing aid has to be adaptable to the device. Remember I told you it used to have, even with some of the Phonak aids, we had to boot on a little receiver onto the hearing aid to make it compatible with some of these devices. But if it's an Oticon or a different brand hearing aid, that hearing aid, not every hearing aid, has to be somewhat modified or has an additional attachment to it to be able to receive from this.
I missed so much in school just because I couldn't hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I really
I
did.
bet.
Yeah.
So modern technology, just like it is with everything, with our cell phones and so forth. But I love these devices, and I think they are very appropriate, maybe not for everybody, but for patients. I fit several of them, and I've had no one say that it didn't enhance their communication and make it easier for them.
Mm-hmm.
So now sometimes we do have to make adjustments. I can adjust your hearing aid program to Roger. We have a dedicated program in the hearing aid, so I can go in and adjust that. We can vary the microphones, how much microphones you pick up in noise versus Roger input. There's a lot of different things we can do, but we start somewhere and kind of decide what we need to modify.
So I know that she has don't you have an app on your phone, Beth, to adjust
yeah.
the other hearing aid that you had?
Yeah, well, I
So
guess it'll be the same.
does that app work for this hearing aid as well? Or you
will-
have to configure it with your
We will have to
computer?
delete the old hearing aids and pair the new ones
Oh,
to
okay.
the app.
Okay, so we
Okay.
need to
And we'll
do
do that
that.
today.
Okay.
And then when you're using Roger, you can control Roger through that app.
Okay.
When he's turned on, he's there, it's going to show up. And it
Okay.
automatically goes to Roger.
Okay. And so I know that we in the past had a conversation about whether or not you could do this remotely.
Mm-hmm.
Is that still something that you can do, or is that?
We can do some things. Some of the programming on the hearing aid,
Uh-huh.
it's a little difficult to pair devices. We can walk you through it remotely, that kind of thing.
Right.
But
Oh, there it is, my phone.
But yes, as far as adjusting the hearing aid, someone has to be signed up for remote support and have an appointment, and then we connect at that time.
With you being on your computer.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm. In the
Interesting.
software, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. I just wanted to close our discussion today about the new audiology hearing aid equipment with this Roger device that Dr. Bethany Walden was kind enough to let me videotape, and also my client Beth. They were such good sports. But anyway, I just wanted to say that it's really encouraging to see all the technology that's come across the way here for different hearing impairments and different ways to manage hearing impairments. And so many times we are convinced or taught to be convinced that hearing aids are a racket and you can't depend that, one's better than another and you can buy the cheapest ones and get the same results. And I can tell you that is so not true. You have to pay attention to who you go to for a hearing test, I'll tell you that. It's great if you can go to an audiologist versus a store that just sells hearing aids, because there is a lot of variation and some people just don't need all of the bells and whistles that other people really need. Some people can do well with a small kind of limited device that doesn't offer the ability to adjust it on your iPhone or your handheld device, or anything more complicated than basically sound amplification, because they never leave their house. But if you want your loved one to have the ability to do more activities, leave the house, do things, engage in socializing, be around a lot of people, this kind of stuff that Dr. Walden was talking about today is just so helpful, because what keeps people from getting involved many times is that they can't hear. And sometimes that changes their entire outlook when you allow these new doors to open, because they finally can hear. The woman that was pictured, that's my client, Beth in the pink shirt, she had this hearing impairment and I had said this in the video in the beginning, when she was a kid, but she never realized how bad it was until I brought it up to her when she was the caregiver for her husband, and she was missing so much of the conversations that were going on between myself and caregivers that were in the home, between the caregivers themselves and her husband. It was really amazing that she tolerated that without questioning. But now you can see why. It's because she had that deficit from the time she was in middle school till she was an adult, and she just lived with it. So my message for you is to please double check and make sure that your loved one is hearing well. And if not, that even if you have to put the hearing aids in because they don't want to be bothered, put them in, because it's going to make your life better. And you know what? This is a team thing. You're a team, and you have to impress upon them that they need to hear you as much as you need to hear them. So you don't have to keep asking them, what did they say? What? And they're like, never mind. It wasn't that important to start with. Anyway, it was a great opportunity to learn something new. And Dr. Walden's information is below this video. So please remember to like this video, share, and click the subscribe button. Make sure you let us know what kind of experiences you've had with hearing aids, with hearing deficits. I asked Dr. Walden if she would be interested in recording another video, and she said, okay, but she was sort of taken by surprise today when I popped this on her, but she's a sport. So anyway, have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this video. Bye-bye.